Well, hello everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and if you're here and you're watching and you're not cooking and preparing or traveling or whatever, thank you so much for taking your time out of this busy evening. I know my wife was upstairs, getting some pies and deviled eggs made and things like that. Hang on one second, everybody. Have all right. Yeah. Hey Roy, thanks for hopping in here, man. I'll bring you up here in a second, all right? So we just in time. Our guest this evening had a live stream scheduled the hour before this one, so he was like, "I'm gonna be late." I was like, "Oh, I can delay till you get here." So he's right on time. So hey, Jessica, how you doing? Thanks for hopping in here. Happy Thanksgiving. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new here, this is a live recording of Christmas Clatter podcast. So I will here in a second start the episode off, have some news and notes for the podcast, bring my guest on, and then we'll roll with it. So if the chat kind of gets ignored, please forgive us. Although probably won't get too ignored on this one because it's a discussion that a lot of people get fired up about one way or the other. So, um, before we get started here, since this is a live recording, I'm going to have to get some things uh, put in place here. So, uh, hey, Florence, how are you doing? Ken, thanks for hopping in here. So, all righty. Um, Let me get my scenes taking place because of all this. So, one second, you guys get to watch how the Christmas cookies are made around here. So, yeah. All right. I'm gonna get you locked in these seeds here, man, real quick, and then I'll send you back to the green room. So yeah, just a couple more here to ready. There's probably a better way to do this. I just hadn't had the chance to get that done yet. So all right. There you are again. I'm gonna send you back down, man, and then we'll get started. All righty.
Oh, good.
All right. All right. So hello, Holly. Thanks for being here. Uh, Taking time to moderate and make pies and deviled eggs for everybody. That's a superhero status. So, well, hello and welcome to Christmas Clatter, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness, it is tomorrow. Well, actually today, because the way people travel, way people prepare, the holiday season is in full tilt, full blown. Um, Hold on to your hats because time, unfortunately, will race by and get away from us if we're not careful. So please, whatever you're doing out there, be intentional about what you're doing. Make plans, be prepared, get organized. I've been for 6 months, been pushing our Christmas planner, christmasclatter.live/planner, still available on Amazon. I know it's just next week is December. It's still not too late. If you need to go grab one of those, please do so. And before I get too far into the weeds, I want to thank our sponsor this week, West Fifth Studios. If you guys are looking for some excellent Christmas gifts, some hand painted, uh, uh, handmade ornaments, they can be personalized, all kinds of different variations. Please head over to her Etsy store, um, and you can get there by uh, the URL christmasclatter.live/West Fifth Studio, and that's fifth as in 5th. And thanks so much for West Fifth for uh, um, being our sponsor and for all what's the word I'm looking for here for um, I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, but just to let everybody know, West Fifth Studios is my wife's Etsy shop, and she makes beautiful ornaments. If you don't believe me, ask Art from Cozy Christmas Podcast. He loves his, and Ken there at the North Pole News Dispatch can um, be a testify to their quality and the attention to detail. Uh, that's one of the reviews she's been getting a lot, is the attention to detail on those ornaments, and that's a really really great thing. So, that's a lot of people um, kind of let things slide. And she told me a great story about her mom and when she was a kid, and about that being ingrained. But I'm gonna save that. I'm not gonna share that story, but because it'll be coming up, because I found it was uh, you know it was something that her mom said, just kind of, I guess, half off the cuff. And she says she hears her mom say it every day, every time she's making something. So Holly will be on this channel a little bit more throughout this holiday season, and we'll get to that. So that's with West Fifth Studios on Etsy. Check them out. They're really great, and just we kind of love starting this Christmas crafting, Christmas business kind of journey together. It's been fun, kind of combining things that we love and can share with other people. So, as far as the podcast, there's not a lot of news and notes. Please join us next week if you're interested in black and white movies, because film critic for The Wrap and author of Have Yourself a Movie Little Christmas will be on here to tell us the must-see black and white movies. It's not a top, you know, 10 list or 5 list, or they're not in order. It's just a list of movies you need to see that are in black and white. We have left It's a Wonderful Life off the list because we felt like that was like an obvious choice and just took up a, a place from another movie. Um, and so be here for that next week. Uh, Follow Alonzo Duraldi on Have Yourself a Movie Little Christmas on Facebook. It's a great little Facebook page, gives you all kinds of Christmas movies, notes and stuff. In fact, today he just posted that the E Network on the day after Thanksgiving will be playing a It's a Wonderful Life marathon. I guess kind of like the Christmas Eve marathon of A Christmas Story that TBS or TNT, I can't remember. TBS does, but they're doing It's a Wonderful Life instead. So that was cool to see, and so follow him over there at Have Yourself a Movie Little Christmas on Facebook. And another thing I want to hit is another friend of mine, Mr. Camera Junkie, Luis Vega, on um, YouTube. Has this video he put out a little while ago. I'm not going to play the audio. I'm not going to play the whole video here. And let's see how this kind of pulls up. It's going to play a little over my head, but that's okay. But it's all about like tips and tricks for phone photography. The link to this videos is in the description. I know tomorrow's Thanksgiving. It's been a few years probably since you've been around a lot of your family because of various things. And so you'll want to get pictures. And most of us have our phones in our pockets. And like Luis says in this video here, the phone is probably the best camera most people have ever owned. And just a short 3-minute video. And he's got some great tips on how to improve your photography on your phone. So when you have your family around this Thanksgiving, or whether it's a Christmas party, later in December, or at Christmas time, brush up on getting those pictures taken, well with your phone. And then if you're interested in photography, things like that, Mr. Camera Junkie's a cool guy. I consider him a friend, and he's got you covered there. So, and that's at Mr. Camera Junkie on YouTube, and the links to all that is in the description. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else. I'm not sure if I am. It kind of feels like I am, but every time I come to the end of this part, I always feel like I'm missing something else. And usually, like the next day, I'm like, oh, I should have said this or that. But you know what I should do is like make bullet points or notes or something. But well, you know. So, well, without any further ado, let's get into this topic. This is one I have avoided for a long time. Um, Not because mainly just because I was kind of tired of it. But it's fine. It's like one of those things that it's like I finally need. I think I talked about it early on, briefly, in just a podcast episode before it even came to YouTube. I believe it seems like I had, because I remember contacting Tim Babs of I Can't Wait for Christmas podcast, because he's the one that I first heard the yippee ki yay, yippee ki nay voting system for that. So if you saw the thumbnail, that's not original. That's Tim Babs all the way. Because I remember asking him permission, and I think I used part because he took like a year to vote, of voting with his listeners and stuff, or maybe a few months. I can't remember, but it was quite a while. So, but let's talk about it. I'm going to bring in my friend Roy, Tech Troublemaker, to talk about it. He's done a video on it, and so all I can say is here's trouble. Hey, man, how's it going?
It's going great, man. How about you?
Going well. Thanks so much for hopping in here. I know you had a busy schedule and was trying to get things taken care of and just
Yeah.
running around. So, but before we get started, just let everybody know what you're doing on YouTube and kind of what uh, what you're doing. You know, if they're interested in that kind of thing, that they can go that direction and follow you. I know I got some tech people that like to dive in there and check it out. So let them know.
I have no idea what I'm doing on YouTube. No. Um lately lately my videos have been very much focused on gear and content creation and growing on YouTube. It's kind of that scenario where it's one beggar telling another beggar where to find food.
Yeah.
So I will learn something. I will then immediately go and share it with those that watch my channel. But really, the thing I enjoy the most, and I thank you for recently being on my show.
Uh-huh.
We have a content creators meetup once a month, and I have content creators from Instagram and from TikTok and all different places come on, and we just talk about what content creation is like for us and our pain points and the troubles we go through and then successes and what we're planning on doing next. And that's just the most fun episodes that I do. Um, and then I also do some tutorials as well and reviews for different tech equipment. But lately, pretty much focused on, just content creation on what's, you know, and plan on really doubling down on my efforts next year. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, you had taken a break too, hadn't you, from what I heard and things. So,
I did.
yeah,
Yeah, I went through some burnout and just kind of had to slack off. And right now, I'm just having fun. It's just a
yeah,
lot of fun for me, and I love the community that I'm slowly building.
hmm
So this is great stuff. And like I said, you were on the show, so everybody has
yeah,
to go run over there after this show, of course,
yeah,
and go watch that video. So,
yeah. That one's
but you
already
have to
been.
like and subscribe to this channel first. You can't go to my channel until you've done those two things here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yep, yep. This one's live. That one's done been in the can for a week
that's
or
right.
so now. So it'll sit there till this one's over. But yeah, not to get way too off subject, but I took the first 6 months of this whole year off from January to actually mid July,
Mm,
and for various reasons. And quick story, I don't want to hash through it because I feel like I hashed through it enough already on the channel. But it's like I got, me and well, just not me, but me and my wife and my mom, and my uncle, and my sister. After Thanksgiving last year, we all got hit with the COVID hard, like the
yeah,
sickest any of us have ever been. And then
mm,
that what they call it, long COVID was,
yeah,
it's the real deal, Holyfield. And it's like the energy level was low, the want to was terrible. And it's like I had like one false start in March, and and it wasn't until about June or so that I was like, ready to, get back to it. And I think it
yeah.
was, um, I just needed that break. And because although new to YouTube, I've been doing Christmas Clatter as a podcast for a few years longer, so it's been a little bit longer journey than what a lot of people actually get to see. But I couldn't believe it, and I just needed it, and I always plan to take like January, February off anyway. But yeah, it's hard to restart, and I think you're watching your videos and stuff. You're kind of, even though it's tech troublemaker, you're finding a little bit different voice, and I really like it because it's like. you're kind of like a morphing into that coach kind of thing, and it's really cool. And you're getting a good community because there's been a few people that I was on with last week, kind of contact me, and we're kind of, you know, doing some things, and working some stuff out. So, and it's really
Yeah.
cool, and I appreciate that. So, but you're also a really big Christmas guy too, because you went like
I
all in on Christmas on your channel. Being a tech channel, last December you were all in on the Christmas videos. So,
I was. Well, yeah, so I was jokingly calling it Yule Vlog,
uh huh,
but Vlogmas, and yeah, so I did the full 31 days, and everybody's like, "You're not supposed to do the full 31. You're supposed to stop at December 25th." I didn't know that, so I kept going. Um, a and it caused my challenge. Well, it was weird because I got a lot of subscribers from the live videos for the
uh-huh.
Christmas videos, but then after that was over, it kinda died, and I was like, "Oh, man." And if you went and looked at my channel, all my thumbnails were all Christmas themed. I'm like, "What am I doing now?" So it's kinda like taking off. I should have taken January, February off, so,
Yeah,
but I'm like, "No, I gotta immediately do videos to get the
yeah,
Christmas, thumbnails off the screen so that people see my channel." But
yeah,
it was fun, but I had a blast. I did, my opinion, the
uh-huh,
top movies, the top songs, and, why Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I have a great video I did with a lot of content creators last year called The 13 Days of Christmas, where we sing the 12 Days of Christmas. You have to watch it. It's pretty funny. It was just a blast putting that together. I literally had multiple friends of mine send me snippets of them singing the 12 Days of Christmas, and then I edited it all together.
oh, that's
And
cool.
I was really surprised it didn't get more views because I thought, man, this is just fantastic. So I don't care. In my heart, it's the best. It's one of the best things I've ever
Yeah,
done. So
oh yeah,
that's all that matters to me.
yeah,
So
that's true. That I'm working on a similar video right now that you're going to be a
yeah,
part of, celebrating the bicentennial of "Twas the Night Before Christmas," and it's like it's a lot of work, and it's like,
yeah,
I'm really hoping that it does well, and people really get to see it. But if not, I got a lot of practice editing and learning how to keyframe. So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
and so yeah, and if you're not prepared for that after Christmas drop as a Christmas creator, then you're the wrong game.
yeah,
So, you're interesting for about 3 months a year, and then
yeah.
oh
Well,
man,
maybe you follow the seasons. What
yeah.
was the trying to think of Rudolph's Shiny New Year, and you got all the
Oh
all the different entities
yeah,
coming from all the different holidays and everything. So,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm just gonna say right now, Miracle on 34th Street, the black and white version,
Uh huh.
is the second runner up in my mind as the best black and white Christmas movie.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that too.
So,
I would have to agree. And
yeah,
spoiler alert, that's on the list for next week. So but there's probably three or four that I don't think I've ever heard of before. And
mm,
Alonzo's been a movie critic basically his whole life,
yeah,
and so I'll you know he does several movie podcasts, and I'll take his word on it and trust that they're all good. But so let's just dive into Die Hard. I have to Before we even start, I have a specific rule on what is and isn't a Christmas movie. Now, this is one of the weirdest phrases I ever say in the Christmas content podcast slash creator community. They make fun of my rule. However, my rule leaves zero question for debate. Although I do get a lot of silliness, but I'll take the silliness from it. And my rule is if there's anything Christmas in the movie, it's a Christmas movie.
okay, that
And
that
so,
yeah,
so the silliness I get is like when Jurassic World came out, the very first scene is Christmas. None of the rest of the movie has any mention of Christmas in it. Christmas movie.
mm,
A movie like LA Confidential, the opening part takes place on Christmas Eve. Everything's decorated for Christmas. The movie takes like a year or something to play through, the whole story. It's a Christmas movie. 2018's Halloween. Um, Lori's daughter wears a Christmas sweater through the whole movie. Christmas movie. So that's my rule. And
okay,
a lot of people weigh all this other stuff to see if it's a Christmas movie, but my rule is hard and fast. and I'll take the movies that are just goofy because they have like 5 minutes or less of Christmas in them.
I can't argue against that rule. I just if it for me though, there are movies that I will watch at Christmas. Um, Elf. I can watch Elf any time of the year. I find Will Ferrell cringy in most movies to the point where I can't watch them always all the way through. But
Right.
Elf is one of my favorite Christmas movies, and I can watch it every time it comes on in June on TBS. I can watch
Yep.
it because it's on. It's one of those movies I flip channels. So, but I can definitely understand that, and I think Die Hard blows away that if it just has to mention Christmas for a brief moment, Die Hard's definitely a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah.
But there's so many references to Christmas in the Die Hard movie that I would argue, and I haven't had a chance to prove it yet, that there are more references to Christmas in Die Hard than there are in Love Actually.
Oh
And
yeah.
and
Yeah.
sometime before this year's up, I'm gonna watch Love Actually and document every single reference to Christmas throughout the entire movie, and then we're gonna find out once and for all if that's true. And I will tell you first. I won't tell anybody except maybe my wife because I tell her everything. But I'll tell her first, and then I'll tell you, hey Todd, yes, Die Hard beat out Love Actually. There's more Christmas in Die Hard. We'll find out.
Oh
I'm gonna test this theory. It's been my theory for a while. So
yeah. Yeah. In fact, on Instagram, when I posted about the live stream, you like listed like all the timestamps of all the music, and it's like was just a whole row of stuff. It was like I don't know how many lines was that. This is like 30 lines or better, and
and I don't think I got them all
yeah,
because I was getting ready for that episode that night. So I literally like watched Die Hard like really quickly
uh-huh,
to get ready for the episode because I didn't have time to prepare it at the level I wanted to because I had planned it way ahead and I have a day job that gets in the way of my hobbies.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I pasted it out there. I'm like, yep, these are all the timestamps where all the references of Christmas. There's so much Christmas music. John McClane's wife is named Holly.
Uh-huh.
The daughter's like, "When are you guys? Are we gonna see Daddy?" And she's like, "I'll talk to Santa Claus about that." I mean, it's
Mhm.
just, yeah, it's all
Yeah.
through it.
It is, and you know, it I never really saw why people a friend of mine, Jerry Davila, who does Totally Rad Christmas, 80s Christmas podcast, he's one of those that says it's not a Christmas movie. And I tried to see if he could hop on here, but he couldn't. And so I'm like, well, what's your arguments for it? And it was stuff like, well, it's not warm and fuzzy. It's like, well, okay. You know, that may be a bad interpretation of what he actually said, but, and then he's like, have you ever heard of the Linus moment?
The Linus moment. I
Yeah.
mean, is that
It,
when he's reading from Luke on
yeah,
in
there's a,
Peanuts, Charlie Brown Christmas?
yeah, there's in Christmas movies, a lot of people establish a Christmas movie has to have what they call a Linus moment, and that's where at any point a character can say, "This is what Christmas is all about," Charlie Brown, or they learn what Christmas is all about. You can call it a Scrooge moment or a Grinch moment, kind of thing too. And they're like, "Well, there's no really Linus moment." That was one of his arguments. There's no like actual change, and it's like, well, yeah, there is, because you know, Holly, his wife, is the one that has the change of heart at the end, and so that
And
you really have to, because I've never, I've even before I had my rule, I always just considered a Christmas movie just because of the fact there was so much uh, Christmas in there, you know. So yeah.
Hans Gruber's the Grinch,
Oh yeah,
or he's Mister,
absolutely.
or he's Scrooge because
Right.
he's keeping John McClane away from his wife and
Uh
celebrating
huh.
Christmas with his family.
Right, right. And actually, Gruber is the last name of the guy who wrote Silent Night. You know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like there's just way too many Christmas references and Christmas things that can be um, labeled on there. And I here several months ago, I had this. uh, thought, and that I thought was an original thought. And I thought, man, I want to put this on video and blow people away. So I started doing research. Apparently, a lot of people think this, and it's been around for a while. So I don't know if I heard it somewhere and just didn't remember it, or if it was parallel thinking, or um, what it was. But um, if you run through the steps of Die Hard, you have robbers. You have, I'm just trying to think of the highlights of the movie. One of the highlights is McClane's feet getting hurt and bloody. Argyle wrecks his, limousine. You have the, heart to heart with a new friend, someone that you might not be friends with otherwise. You know, and then that friend saves the day at the end, and then he's reunited with his wife. You know, well, there's another movie that is guaranteed to be a Christmas movie that has all those things in it, and I'm to the point to think that Home Alone has completely ripped off Die Hard because it came out years after. Because a limousine's basically a delivery vehicle. You're delivering people. Well, the delivery guy in Home Alone wrecks his car into the statue. You have robbers. You know, uh, you know who both instances. The main robber pretends to be a good guy. You have being the cop in Home Alone. Being the American, Hans Gruber is American. You have a guy running around with barefoot, hurt feet, and Daniel Stern. You have references to black and white entertainment through Roy Rogers and the, Souls of the Filthy Animals. You have that scene where Holly's like, John's still alive because nobody can aggravate anybody, more than that. Well, freaking, how many fits did, Joe Pesci throw because, Kevin was just irritating with him. And then at the end, Kevin was, reunited with the most significant lady in his life, his mom, whereas
Mm-hmm.
John was reunited with his wife. Uh, Mr. Winslow, I can't think of Alan, I think's his name in the movie, shoots the bad guy at the end to save John McClane. Well, Marley, hits the guy in the back of the head with a shovel to save Kevin. you know, and and there's one more. You know, why did John fly to LA to be a part of this party? Because Kevin says it best. I just want my family back.
Yeah.
So it's like, for those that say Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie but love Home Alone as a Christmas movie, they're the same movie. It's just the R version and the PG version, and that's it. Because I just gave you about 15 or so similarities on how, you know, Home Alone and Die Hard, parallel. And I probably could find more if I look. Well, you got the news reporter who's a jerk, and you got the uncle who's a jerk in the same kind of
Yeah.
way. So, but yeah,
Well, if Disney's going to keep making Home Alones, then Kevin McAllister's house should be the Nakatomi building, and they should do Home Alone in the Nakatomi
well,
building.
maybe he is, because in that last one he owns that security company, you know, so but yeah, so it's kind of, you know, so it's like I just find it so hard. For one, I found it amazing that there's so many parallels in those two movies,
Yeah.
and two, it's like, well, because Home Alone is, a lot of people's top five, if not top
Yeah.
three Christmas movie, and it's wonderful. I love it, and it's one that
Yeah.
our kids and us watch, a lot. Uh, but it's like it just seems intellectually dishonest to love Home Alone as a Christmas movie, but not Die Hard.
Yeah. Well, Joe Pesci with the Yosemite Sam kind of cussing he does in Home Alone. It's just so amazing having seen other Joe Pesci movies. It's like, how did they get him to do that?
They probably had to pay extra for that,
Probably had to. Yeah.
you know. I don't. If I remember right, Netflix had that the Christmas movies that made us,
Yeah.
and
I
and,
love that.
and the one on Home Alone was really good, and I don't think Joe Pesci was real happy doing it, if I remember right.
Yeah. But he was happy enough to do it twice.
Yeah, I guess there was enough zeros involved. So, but yeah, it's just, you know, I thought, when I thought about tackling the subject of Die Hard being a Christmas movie, I thought about, having these big panel discussions and have people that didn't like it, people that did, people that thought it was, people that thought, and it's like, if you're saying it's not, I don't know why you are, other than to be a contrarian.
It had a lot of violence, but,
Yeah,
so did Home Alone.
yeah,
It
yeah,
just Home Alone just isn't as bloody.
yeah.
But
That's right.
hey, Die Hard is an R-rated movie. Home Alone is PG.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely, and it's the go to I've had for years is Die Hard has more Christmas in it than Jingle Bells. So, you know, because Jingle Bells has no mention of Christmas in it, you
that is
know,
true.
and so, um, but yeah, it's just uh, it's just kind of crazy.
And on the
BGG.
next episode, we're gonna say Jingle Bells is not a Christmas song.
See, I accepted it, even though there's zero Christmas in it. I accept it as a Christmas. You know, I accept it as a Christmas song because in my Christmas, there's always room at the end, and then so the more the merrier. So, but BGG Grooming hops on here. Hey man, I appreciate you being here with us. But he's asking us. He's wanting to know what our favorite Christmas movie is of all time. So, man, I really appreciate you hopping on here with us, BGG. I really appreciate
Yep.
it. But so, what's your favorite Christmas movie? I know we've been talking about Die Hard, pretty heavy here, but
It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite Christmas movie, but if you think about it, it's not actually a Christmas movie. Your definition makes it a Christmas movie,
mhm,
but there's definitely more references to Christmas in Die Hard than there is in It's a Wonderful Life.
yeah,
It's only near the end that Christmas really comes up as, yeah.
yeah,
So that's,
yeah,
really a trip that's become a Christmas tradition like it has.
yeah. Um, yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is mine too. And I always remind people the whole movie takes place on uh, Christmas Eve night.
Yeah,
Because it's all flashback. It's where it starts, it's where it ends, and and it definitely has the Linus moment and the changing and stuff. But
yeah,
it does, yeah. You'll go for an hour and 10 minutes, you know, and forget that Christmas is even involved. Kind of the same way if you watch Lethal Weapon, it's at Christmas time, but you'll go a while before you
yeah.
remember that it's at Christmas. But but yeah, It's a Wonderful Life definitely is my favorite Christmas movie. And here a few years back, um, I guess it was 2020, December 2020. Um, my wife surprised me, and of course, there wasn't a whole lot of people going to the movie theater. But she was able to rent for like a super reasonable price a theater at our local movie
Mm.
theater, and we had a private screening of It's a Wonderful Life, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and my mom and dad came, and we have 4 kids. They all, of course, they all were there. I had an uncle and a cousin, and their families came. There was, I don't know, there was um, my mother-in-law came, probably 15, 16 of us, in the theater.
Wow.
And that's the first time I ever seen it on the big screen like that. And uh, here a few weeks ago, I said, if you haven't listened to Andy Williams on a vinyl record, you don't know what you're missing because it's just so much different, you know,
Mhm.
on vinyl. If you haven't got a chance to see It's a Wonderful Life on a big screen, uh, you know, look at your local theaters and see if it's playing sometime this holiday season, like on a Sunday afternoon or something, and go check it out because it was so. I mean, it's always good, but it was just so much more of an experience on that big screen. And
Wow.
I've tried to think of other more interesting, less obvious Christmas movies to pick as my number one, but I just can't. That
Yeah.
that one. When I first watched that, I didn't actually see that movie until I was like in my mid 20s.
Yeah.
And it took me about, I don't know, 10 years of watching it before I could get through the ending without having some sweaty eyes. you know,
Yeah.
and and uh, and things. So, but yeah, BGG says he
And
loves A Christmas Story, and you can't go wrong with
I
that.
do love A Christmas Story. I haven't
Yeah,
seen the sequel yet. It's on HBO Max now.
yeah.
Um,
I've heard it's good. I haven't seen it yet
is
either.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it,
yeah,
even if it's not good, because I'm gonna watch it. So
yeah,
it took me a long time watching that to finally get where I like that movie. I don't know
yeah,
why it didn't click with me, and then when it finally did, it's like, oh man, this is a really good movie. So
yeah,
that is a good movie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It was one of those that I saw it on the marathon, but never sat down and watched it all in order till
Yeah.
Monday. So, but I really like that one. You know, quite a bit. Christmas Vacation's a classic. You know,
Yeah.
it's probably the most quotable movie of all of them. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, the Griswolds, they really know how to celebrate Christmas.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Several years
Um,
back, we went to a midnight showing on one weekend in December of Christmas Vacation at the theater. This was probably like 90, no, probably like 2003 or 4, something like that. And I'm one of those guys that go into the theater, you sit down, you watch the movie, you know. Well,
yeah,
as soon as it opened up, people were like quoting the whole line, every line, word for word. At first, and it was packed. It was completely packed theater. At midnight, there wasn't a seat left. And at first, I was like irritated, and then I just kind of got into the swing of it, and was just I didn't know every line word for word, but I knew the high points. I tell you what, that was some of the most fun at a theater I think I've ever had.
yeah.
Just everybody, just everybody just like, not going in our living room, or it's not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room, and that kind of thing. So, yeah,
Yeah, I love it. That was funny because I wanted to watch it one year, and for some reason, I couldn't find it anywhere,
right.
and so I bought it, and so I'm like, "Oh, then we gotta watch this, kids," and I forgot how much cussing there is in it. So, I'm used to watching it on TV, and they've bleeped out, they've
Yeah,
cut everything out.
yeah,
Like, suddenly, "Oh, yeah, well, this movie is gonna be hilarious." I'm
yeah,
like, "I don't remember this much cussing in this movie." I'm
yeah.
like, "What?"
It's a strong PG-13 for sure.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
strong PG-13. So make sure your
Uh,
kids are that before we did that a few years back with the Great Outdoors. We ended up turning it
yeah.
off. We're like, this ain't nothing like we remember. It's like, what were my parents thinking letting us watch this stuff?
Well, it's like, Die Hard. I'd watched it on commercial TV so
Yeah.
much, and so I bought it, and I was, "Oh, this movie's great," and we were watching, I'm like, "Okay, I knew there was this one part, but I didn't think about that much," so
Yeah.
by the way, parents, there's a lot of cussing in Die Hard, so
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good R-rated movie, and
yes.
yeah, but
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 I thought it was R because it's just that one scene, but no, it's got a lot more,
yeah,
so
there's
and there's
plenty.
nudity. I wasn't
Yep.
expecting that, I forgot about that, so I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, and see, that's something that probably most people won't see their first few times watching it
Yeah,
because it's one of those. It is with the movie. Once you see it multiple times, you start picking up what's going on in the background and that kind of thing, and it's like,
yeah.
oh my, I don't even remember that.
I know, it's like, "What?" When you watch it to catch all the Christmas moments, like, "Oh, yeah, okay."
Yeah, yeah. And if anybody's looking
So
for a movie that's been out there more recently, The Man Who Invented Christmas is really good, about
mm,
Charles Dickens, and check that out if you haven't seen it. It's a really good movie
mm,
as well.
I'll have to see that.
Yeah, it really is, and I think it's probably been out just a handful of years, 5 years,
Mm,
6 years, maybe at most, and it's really good. And then Noel on Disney Plus is really really good too. Um,
mm.
with the I can't think of her name now. She played in the Pitch Perfect movies as the main
Oh,
character.
yeah, Anna Hendricks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she's
it.
like Santa Claus's daughter
Yep, yep,
or
yep.
something. Yeah. Does it have Ben Affleck in it?
No, it's
No, that's another one.
yeah, Reindeer Games is one
Ah, okay. There's some movie where they're both in the
yeah,
same movie.
yeah.
I'm trying to
No, it's
think.
got oh Hayden, I think's his last, or no Hader, um, Bill Hader is in it.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
terrible with
that's it.
actors names and stuff. It just we'll watch something and we'll watch a movie and I spend half the time on IMDb trying to figure out who that police officer that had one line was because I know I've seen him before, you know.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like in a shampoo commercial. I'm like, that's where I saw him before, you know. So, but
And there's a lot of movies named Noel, so I'll have to keep I'm checking IMDb now to try to
yeah,
find the one.
yeah, it's double L's and an E, I think. So,
Double L's and an E. Okay,
yeah,
all right. That
yeah, I believe so. But yeah, both those are really good movies, and also not a really a Christmas movie, but it does qualify because it has Christmas in it. War with Grandpa is really good too. Um,
hmm.
but like I said, not really a Christmas movie, but I consider it a Christmas movie because of a couple scenes. So, but yeah, those are worth checking out as well. But you know,
Yeah, that one actually pretty good. I remember watching Noel.
yeah.
Actually, um, so let me go find it. I got the 12 Dates of Christmas.
Oh yeah, was Zach and Amy Smart? Yep,
I don't
from
remember
Saved by the
what her
Bell.
name is.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's one of my
yeah,
favorites.
it does have the Saved by the Bell guy in it.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
I
yep,
love that movie.
yep,
It's basically Groundhog Day as a
uh-huh,
Christmas movie.
yep. That's
But I love that movie. It's
yeah,
a good movie.
that was an ABC Family original, and it's one of our favorites too. We really
Yeah,
like it a lot, and it's a Groundhog Day concept, which actually for a Christmas movie isn't that uncommon. Um, but it's really cool, and then you watch it through a bunch of times, then you realize that the 12 days of Christmas, um, the things sung about in the song are Easter eggs in the movie, and then you spend
yeah,
part of your time trying to find them, because they're real obvious at the end, but at the
yeah,
beginning they're not quite as obvious, and so, but yeah, that's a really fun movie. I mean, it's not nothing anybody hasn't seen before, but you know,
yeah,
it's one of our favorites, and that last
yeah,
scene with the Christmas party and everybody gathered is worth the price of admission in that movie. That last scene with that house full of people just gets me every time. It really does. It's just
yeah,
got this big Christmas feel to it.
yeah. It's such a good movie, and my wife picks on me about it. But I'm like, you got to watch this movie. So we have this thing in my house. I find movies,
Uh
and
huh.
then I tell my wife, "I really think you'd like this." She's like, "It doesn't sound like me." And then she watches. Okay, yeah, I really liked it. So, I have a knack for picking that movie that's kind of out there, the diamond in the rough, and bringing in like,
Yeah.
let's watch this. I bet you're gonna like it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. We don't get to watch movies as much as we like, and I'm not sure why. I think because a lot of times time restraints,
yeah,
and not to make excuses. I work as a letter carrier for the postal service for my 9 to 5, and so this is our busy time of year, and this year has been
yeah,
ridiculous. In fact, that's the thing I was forgetting about in my show notes that I was forget, so I'll take care of it now. People, listen, this is way off subject, but I'm going to say it while I'm thinking of it. If you are mailing a package or you are ordering anything, the post office will say you got till December something something. Do not wait. Absolutely do not wait. Take care of it tomorrow if you can, because trust me, I've I got 17 years as a letter carrier, and I've never seen it like this. Never, ever seen it like this. And on top of that, there's uh, FedEx Ground may be striking here in a week or so, and rail
mhm,
workers may be striking here in a week or so. As far as political things, I won't get into it. That's their business. But if those things happen, hold on to your hats. But if they still don't happen, I've still never seen it like this. So don't believe anybody when they tell you can order by a certain date and you'll get it. Do not believe them at all. Take care of it as soon as you can. Get those packages in the mail as soon as you can. Do not wait. Do not wait. Trust me, because like I said, 17 years. That's postal service, carrying mail. Been blown away. We've been doing 12 to 14 hours and some carriers more every day since Veterans Day on the 11th.
Mm.
And that's some of the reasons some of my videos have just not gotten out yet, because when I get home 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, uh, editing
Yeah.
videos and recording myself are kind of low on the list. you know, I
You
apologize.
have to,
I
yeah, you have to
apologize to
practice
everybody.
self-preservation.
Yeah, I apologize to people. I will get the highlights out. Like, people are wanting my 10 favorite Christmas songs, without the math. I will get those out. Just be patient with me, please. I'll get a few days off here before long, and then I can get some things knocked out. But that was the thing. I had forgotten that I was going to mention, but yeah, it's just I think some of it's time, and I'm kind of one of those. I guess a lot of it might be me, because I'm kind of one of those. I gotta be in the mood to watch a movie before I watch a movie.
Mm.
Unless if it's a Marvel movie, then I just buy a ticket and go see it as soon as I can.
Yeah. Yes, I still gotta go see Wakanda Forever. I
Oh,
haven't had a chance yet, so
yes, you do need to see that, and it's very, very good.
yeah.
But like around the house, it's like I kind of got to be in the movie watching mood. So, but yeah, are there any other Christmas movies or anything that just kind of on top of your head, if you're gonna sit down and watch a Christmas movie, that might be one you grab? You know, uh, I know a lot of people are enjoying the Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell on Netflix. Um,
Mm.
I'm trying to think of.
Well, that was okay. I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah,
Um,
don't you don't have to.
okay, I don't have to. Good, you
No.
spared me. Nope, don't have to go see that. You're done. You're over. You've done it. You done what you need to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go look at my list. So, because yeah, yeah, and then I know Charlie Brown Christmas is not a movie, but
Right.
that is a tradition to watch that for me. I do love the Linus moment.
Yeah.
To me, that is the best. I have to watch that. I have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I wait till the day after Thanksgiving to put it out, because I
Uh
used to take it to work,
huh.
but now that I work remotely, I don't. It'll be out Friday. I'll have it up
Yeah.
behind my desk. But yeah, so I know that's not a movie, but
Oh yeah.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
just one
Me
of,
too.
yeah,
Yeah. Anything peanuts, I just
yeah.
absolutely love. It just gets you in those Christmas feels each and every time. And just love it. If people are out there and they're looking for like an episode or something to watch for Christmas, um, uh, the show Newhart, it ran through the '80s with Bob Newhart. They have one. They have one Christmas episode. Go watch it. It is
Yeah,
one of the best one of the best shows on TV that nobody ever talks about to begin with. But
I'd love Newhart. Is this the one with Larry, Daryl, and Daryl?
yes, it is.
Yes. Oh, that was such a great show.
Yeah, and
So,
I told someone the other day. I said Newhart was The Office before The Office. You know,
yeah,
and
I could see that.
but their Christmas episode, it was early on in the run, so some of the characters aren't the characters you remember, because how TV shows are. They kind of get going and see what sticks, and if it doesn't, they get replaced. But man, that Christmas
Yep.
episode, oh my goodness, so good. It's only 22 minutes long. Definitely check that out. If you haven't.
I also really love the Christmas episode of Ted Lasso.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen any Ted Lasso yet, even
Oh,
though it's been so. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so good."
there's so much language, but Ted Lasso's character's not the one doing it. But the
Uh-huh,
Christmas episode, it was funny because it was the start of the second season,
uh-huh,
and it started in July, and so they're showing the Christmas episode in July. But it was such a great episode.
yeah,
Um, but going back to movies, another argument I would make is that White Christmas and Holiday Inn are the same movie.
yes, yeah, they are. I would agree with that as well.
And
Yeah,
then, Muppet Christmas Carol.
uh-huh.
I
Which
love Muppet Christmas Carol.
which may be the greatest adaptation of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
you know,
I
it's just.
yeah.
I mean, there's other good ones out there, but that one just to see,
Well,
Michael Caine as
uh,
Scrooge is just probably the
yeah,
best Scrooge. It's like,
yeah. I agree. I've seen the Bill Murray Scrooged, and that one's okay. It's a
yeah,
little painful to watch. And then, I just watched Spirited
uh huh.
with, Will Ferrell
Haven't
and,
seen that. Is it good?
uh, well, it's very musical.
Yeah,
And I'm not anti-musical, but there's just a lot of singing in places where, let's just keep doing the scene and let's don't sing so much. There's a lot of singing, but,
yeah.
it was good and it was funny. So I would watch it again.
Okay,
I thought it was pretty good. So,
yeah,
and then Elf is
yeah,
definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. Um, and then I mentioned Miracle on 34th Street, only the black and white version.
yep.
Yeah, the Leslie Nielsen one was okay, but, the original black Natalie Wood, a young Natalie Wood playing in there, that guy that played Santa Claus.
Yep.
One of the funniest things to me is the guy that was a drunk Santa Claus that he replaced at the beginning of the parade
Mhm.
is the guy that did the voice for Winnie the Pooh for so many years for Disney.
Yeah.
So that drunk Santa that he has to replace is the guy that did the voice for Winnie the Pooh in the, animated cartoons.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love those, especially the black and whites. They're like this guy,
yeah.
is him. It's like Christmas Vacation. Aunt Bethany was the voice of Betty Boop. In the
Yeah.
cartoons, and you don't think about it until and then when she starts talking, you're like, you can't not hear it.
No, it's like, there it
So,
is. So,
so
I was gonna say, if you're welcome to share out my timestamps
I,
um, for Die Hard anywhere you want, so other people can sample it and test out my premise.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know. I know we didn't really debate Die Hard, a Christmas movie, because to me, there's just no debate, and I hate to be like that. I don't want to be like Mr. Close-minded, but it's kind of like you arguing that 2 plus 2 isn't 4. I just not going to see how you get there, and it's just kind of one of those. Uh, what do they say? The science is settled, on it. it is a it is a Christmas movie. So, uh, Roy, taking movies and things away, is there any like family Christmas traditions that you guys have that's special to you, or maybe a little bit unique? Either or.
what? No.
Yeah,
No, no, we just watch movies, that's all we do, we
that's
don't
all.
even put up a tree. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding. No, we get the tree out, we put it up, it's a group effort, the
yeah,
family gets together and puts the tree up, and we probably put way too many lights on our tree, but I really like lights,
yeah,
and I was so excited when LED lights came out, the really nice LEDs, not just the original,
yeah,
LEDs, but, like, the really nice
yeah.
ones that they can change colors and everything else,
Uh
so
huh.
I love that, and, we have sometimes we had, inflatable Santas and stuff like that we put in the
Yeah,
front yard, and then just but my favorite part is, cooking for Christmas and the
yeah,
family coming to my house. My mom, is getting up in age, and she says, like, "Look, I've done Christmas and Thanksgiving all these years, and now it's time for you and your family to have traditions, and it won't hurt my feelings at all if you wanna serve Christmas dinner at your house and all that and Thanksgiving," and so they come to our house, and that's really special to me, that they do that. So those are the big ones, and then definitely we try to watch at least 2 or 3 Christmas movies a week
uh,
as the time counts down to Christmas, because I just get a yearning to watch these movies, and Christmas is my favorite time of year. I
yeah,
wish that feeling happened all year long. I absolutely do, and the fact that it doesn't and it's not Christmas that's necessary so much to have that feeling, just that feeling of, caring about other people
yeah,
and doing your best to make other people happy and caring for others and enjoying family time together. Just I hate that doesn't happen year round. So
yeah. I agree. I agree. Um, we have a newer tradition, just a couple years old, that my friend Ken Smith, who you've seen in the comments of North Pole News Patch, uh, he's done it for years, and he shared it with us a few years back, and there's several in the audience that do it, really all over the world, um, and it's one that from listening to your videos and your live streams, I know that you would enjoy too, and that's on Christmas Eve at midnight, as Christmas Eve turns into Christmas Day, we go outside and
Mm,
we look up at the stars in the sky, and we don't say anything. Like my wife would
mm,
go, and we don't say anything. We just go out there for, I don't know. It's not long, 4 or 5 minutes, depending on how cold it is, and we just look up at the stars. And there's just something about that transition between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day that there's just a certain level of peace that comes with it. And it's like the sky is more clear and the night is more quiet. And I'm looking forward to doing it again this year,
yeah,
and I hope it's not raining,
that's awesome.
but
I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. And Ken told us about it because here at Christmas Clatter, we talk about movies and we talk about music and we talk about all kinds of stuff that have to deal with Christmas and even those quiet moments that happen either at a church or at your house because
Yeah,
coming to the end of the year, those times to reflect on the year, what went right, what went wrong, what happened, what didn't happen, self evaluation, and just kind of listening to that inner voice that's trying to guide you is so vastly important, and it is a big part of Christmas. And a lot of people, it's the only time of year people take time to listen, and
yeah.
and I just, like I said, I just know that to be something that if you want to, we'll see you at midnight on Christmas Eve looking at the stars.
All right.
So
Yeah, I like that. It just reminds me growing up, the church I went to there for a bit, my family would take us to church, and we would be at church at midnight, and I was just so worried, "We gotta get home. How does Santa Claus gonna get the gifts to us? I don't understand."
yeah,
I mean, yeah, like, "We gotta get home,
yeah,
mama. We're gonna be here till midnight, son." I'm like, "But mama, how's what if Santa Claus shows up at 11 and I'm not sleeping in my bed? I don't
yeah,
know."
yeah. I get that. Luckily, we never had like the midnight church service for Christmas. Um, we would have like a 7:30 or something in the
Yeah.
early evening, which still I was kind of like antsy, like just to get home. But
I gotta get home. Santa's
yeah,
coming.
yeah, I gotta go home, get to bed, and but we always saved our midnight services for New Year's, so that wasn't so
Mhm.
bad. Uh,
Yeah, because then Santa Claus isn't coming, you're
yeah,
waiting
we
on,
got that take they
baby
got that out of
Christmas.
the way, so
I mean, baby New Year's.
yeah. Yeah, wait for New Year's. So it's like, I don't know how old I was before I realized that New Year's Day felt just like New Year's Eve. It's
Mm,
like, but
yeah.
if we didn't have uh, younger kids, we'd probably just go to bed for New Year's anyway. So
We do now. My kids are not that young anymore,
yeah,
so I'm like so it's been a few in the last couple of years where I've just it's 11 o'clock. I Dick Clark's not around to let the ball drop, so let's go to bed.
yeah.
Ryan Seacrest is not Dick Clark to me. No,
Those shows have gotten horrible to watch as far as just the entertainment value alone is just not there. But yeah,
yeah, and
our youngest will be 10 next week. She turns 10 next week, and
wow.
so we still have a few more years for to do that stuff with her. So, but
Take advantage of every moment because when they turn 13, a demon possesses them.
we have 3 older than her, so yeah, got
It's like,
19. Yeah,
I think Mark Twain said, "What do you do if you have a teenager? You put him in a barrel, and then somebody said, 'What do you do when he turns 18?' Then you seal the barrel."
well, you know why that is, right? Because when they're young and they're cute and they're like agreeable and they're fun, you never want them to leave the house.
Yeah.
So they have to become a teenager. So he's like, "When are you guys gonna leave? Because I can't hardly stand to have you around anymore." you know,
Yep.
So that's just the way they get you to get them, because if they stayed 8 years old all the time, it'd be a blast.
Mhm.
You want to keep them forever, but it's like, nah, you can go, you can move out. Yeah, you're not going to have any water because you don't have to pay your bill, but enjoy. You'll learn lots.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Good
Oh,
stuff.
it is. It is. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. So, but man, I really appreciate you hopping here on an episode of Christmas Clatter with me, talk about Die Hard and Christmas movies and stuff. Let everybody know where they can find you, the Tech Troublemaker.
Well, I'm on YouTube as Tech Troublemaker. Just search for that. You'll find me. Um, I was actually doing a Google search today, and I seem to have the Tech Troublemaker brand cornered, so I'm good there.
Yeah,
I'm on Twitter as Tech Trouble MKR. I haven't made enough to pay Elon Musk to let me have the other two letters yet, so I had to take the vowels at the end
yeah,
out. I'm on Instagram as Tech Troublemaker, and I'm also on Facebook as Tech Troublemaker. But I spend more time on the YouTube is my main place, followed by probably Twitter and Instagram are a tie. I tried my luck at TikTok. It didn't appeal to me, and I've left.
yeah.
I still have an account there, but I wouldn't bother. So anyway, but yep, that's where I'm at. YouTube is my favorite place to be, and that's where I'm having the most fun. And so, if you want to see somebody having fun, come see me on YouTube. It's Tech Troublemaker.
And all those links will be in the show notes and description, so you guys will be no further than a tap away from Roy and the Tech Troublemaker brand. Um, Guys, thanks so much for joining me here on this Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Uh, I just want to wish each and every one of you out there listening and watching a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody stays healthy and stays safe. Enjoy your time with your families. And remember, keep Christmas hope alive every day. All right, guys, in the chat, that is
Bye.
the end of the recording. If you got a question in the chat, give me a Q colon on that. I'm going to scroll back. There's a few things I missed here that we'll get to, and got some good spammers rolling along. Thanks, guys, for getting those knocked out for me. I
I love
appreciate it.
those XYZ guys.
Hey,
They're
man.
awesome.
I mean, come on. That's when you know you made it to the big time. So,
Yeah.
so it looks like we have BGG, man. He's born on Christmas Day. So was my father-in-law, and Holly came in with that too. Um,
Wow.
so, and then Jessica, her dad was born the day after Christmas, and Ken, his son, was born on Elvis's. Close enough, Ken. Baby Jesus and Elvis. There's not too much between them two.
Yep.
Florence here, she had a grandmother that was born on Christmas Day. So lots of Christmas Day birthdays. I know Ricky Henderson, the baseball player, was born on Christmas Day, and Annie Lennox of the Eurythmics is a Christmas Day. I'm sure there's more, but I just recently had to write some trivia questions, and so so
I just I
that's why
just
it's
always
on
feel
top of
bad.
mine. So
I feel bad for people that have their birthday on Christmas because I'm like,
yeah,
well, here you go. You get one gift. I'm like, man, if my birthday was in November, you'd give me a gift then,
yeah,
and then you give me a gift at Christmas.
right.
But I'm only getting one gift because yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my youngest daughter, her birthday's one of the last days of the month, and
Hmm.
that's about as close to Christmas as I would want to be. I
Yeah,
would want it to avoid December altogether. And my dad's birthday is at the end of January, and I think that's good separation. I wouldn't want to be early January. My birthday's in
yeah,
July, which is like the perfect spot for a birthday. It's like 6 months birthday, 6 months Christmas. So
yeah.
you know,
And Christmas in July. So
yeah, yeah. So,
I have a friend of mine. His birthday's on Leap Day, so he
oh,
only
let's
has a
see,
birthday every 4 years.
man, man, oh man, oh man.
Actually, sadly, he makes up for it by celebrating 2 days in a row.
Yeah, yeah. Carol says her mail carrier delivered her house after 6 in the dark with a flashlight twice last week. Yeah, that's my mother-in-law. They've been out there tracking around and getting it, and she's just a little over halfway in that route she lives on, so they had
Mm,
a little bit more to go. Arnie and Doug at Pepper Tree Villa, those guys are great. If you don't watch them, they live stream on Mondays at
mm,
um, 8 p.m. Central, so I guess it'd be 9 for you, Roy. They got
yeah.
32 and a half trees in place, guys. You've
Wow.
uh, been can't wait to see that. Sorry I missed you guys last week or this past Monday. I I got off and you guys were just about done. So by the time I got home from work, so yeah, Ken enjoys the music to the Charlie Brown, and I do too. Some
That is my soundtrack at Christmas.
yeah,
I play that continuous loop.
yeah, I love it. I've been known to play if I grab something, you know, I listen to Christmas movies. I listen to Christmas music almost year round, except I always save the big heavy hitters, Bing and Frank and all those for
Oh
the
yeah.
actual season, and then I throughout the year I just try to find some like pop artists or some independent artists and stuff to listen to. But of all the big, what I call the heavy hitters, this is the
Mhm.
one I will pull out
Yeah.
anytime and listen to, and not even care and never get tired of it. Arnie says that him and Ben uh, love Newhart, and how can you not? So, and
I know.
yeah,
And it's got the world's greatest finale of any series.
oh yeah, yeah. They also love that Ted Lasso episode. So,
Oh yeah, I loved it. That was such a good it's
yeah,
such a great show. I do love that show. Very heartwarming.
yeah. Santa Dad says Paul Giamatti is currently in a commercial as Scrooge, and I have to have him star in a full length feature as the man. He looks amazing. That's cool. Yeah, that would be cool. I've done. I need to do that again. Like, who should play? Who would be the next great Scrooge? That would be. He would be on the list, I think, for
He'll be a
sure.
good pick for sure.
He
Yeah.
would be.
I,
Yeah.
I
So
felt bad because you can barely tell it's him.
yeah.
But I'm like, wait, that's Paul Giamatti. Is he fallen that much? Because he only because Cicely Strong has a way bigger part in the commercial than he does. I'm like, but that's Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest character actors of our time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
He definitely would be on the list. I think I need to put that together. I've been thinking about doing like that YouTube short thing for a while, and I want to. It's just I don't have time to even make a short, So I need to get that down and in. But you were talking about that Christmas year round Santa Dad, Randy here. He the Santa Dad thing is all about having that, living your Christmas, you know, your best Christmas life all year round is kind of his focus on Instagram and stuff. And he's a great guy. He's down there in Georgia, and
Mm,
he's just making it happen now and stuff. And good friend of mine, and love talking with him. So thanks, Randy, for hopping on here. So yeah, so but
he should take that coffee mug and the hat thing and do the shorts and tell Christmas jokes.
yeah, he does a lot of. Are you familiar with Ash Borland on YouTube? He's
Yes.
yeah, um,
Yeah, Ash is awesome.
yeah, he is. He's a good guy, but he's like putting stuff out like every 5 minutes, and
I know.
yeah,
Like, man,
uh,
how are you doing that?
Randy Santa Dad reminds me a lot of him on Instagram. He will just sit there and load, and it's all great. It's all cool, and I just love it. Just so
It's
Jessica
like I
says
don't
my
do anything with mortgages, but I like watching his
yeah, he
videos.
changed. He changed from podcast to mortgages, but it's just he's still hammering it home. But Jessica says my grandmother commented about the times when she arrived back at the family's farm after midnight mass and the sweet sound of the animals made that night from the other nights. Yeah, there's just something about that
Yeah.
transition between those 2 days, and I have really no explanation other than just this Christmas spirit. I think just everybody's mood is high. It's kind of like that. One of the things that made TV so popular was in the day was it was something we all, like Newhart was one of those shows that
Mhm.
when I watched it and I went to school the next day, the kids all knew the jokes because everybody watched the same thing at the same time. You had this community thing. Even though we didn't watch it together, we all watched it at the same time. And Christmas is kind of like one of those few things that, not everybody celebrates Christmas. I understand, but it's one of those things that so many people do. It's like that commonality, common thread, just kind of just, you know, stitches together in a way that is really unexplainable, and just that that rise of that joyful and caring and giving, Christmas spirit. Just something about that night is just absolutely amazing and different. So
And it looks like that new Heart episode is on YouTube
yeah,
for watching. It's not an official copy, obviously, but the episode's called No Room at the Inn.
yeah, no room at the end. It's on that. What's that other YouTube thing? It's kind of. I can't think of it now. I'll have to look it up. It's on kind of that like shady YouTube where it's got stuff that probably that violates copyrights. It's on that
Yeah,
too. So in that, I'll get to Arnie's comment here in a second, but that's the other thing that blows me away about Newhart. It's not streaming anywhere.
I know. I
Why?
know. It doesn't make sense.
With all this like plot for streaming content. I mean, Columbo's on every streaming service known to man.
Yes. And
Who's watching
MASH.
that much Columbo? Why is
Yeah,
Newhart not on there? It's one of the greatest TV shows that no one's ever talked about, and it
yeah,
is on zero stream. I mean, Paramount Plus. You're struggling. You own Newhart. Put it on your surface.
yeah.
I
Mm,
mean, it's like apparently, or someone buy it because apparently they don't know what to do with it. But it's like, why in the world is it not on there at all?
yeah,
You know, it's like Roku TV. Here's your chance to really have a great, show it. And I have a feeling that it could be a lot like Office. Office was popular when it was new, but then it really got popular when it got on Netflix.
I know.
And
Yeah,
I think Newhart could be the same way because the jokes still land. Because I've watched a few episodes recently, and the jokes still land because they're
yeah,
not political in nature; they're just all human nature style jokes, and so. But yeah, that just blows my mind. All this content out in the world, and you can't find Newhart. Which ran what 12 or 13 seasons, so it had to be a really great show. But and here's the thing, and nobody realizes this until I'm not say nobody. I'll say it out loud, and then you're gonna agree because it's true. Bob Newhart, in whatever he's in, is either the best thing in it or one of the best things in it each and every time.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. No, definitely
yeah,
good
and
stuff.
yeah, and if you go back and listen to some of his stand-up stuff from the '60s,
Oh yeah, the
you'll
phone
roll.
calls,
Oh,
hilarious,
you'll roll.
man.
You'll absolutely roll.
The driving instructor.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just love that. Just his dry wit and deliver. It's just so good. So Arnie says those New York uh, New Year's Eve episodes are painful to watch. Yes, they are painful. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to begin. It's like, so, well, I guess I'm getting old, so half the time I'm like, who are these people, and what are they doing? You know, and
Yeah.
the best one, and I haven't seen it lately, is down in Mobile when they dropped the moon pie. You know,
Wow,
they,
I haven't seen that.
yeah, yeah, that's a pretty good one. But
Uh,
you know, that plays up here sometimes up here in Missouri.
hmm,
But yeah, but if you get a chance to watch that one, and plus too, it's a big
I'll
moon
have
pie.
to hunt it down.
It's a big moon pie dropping instead of a
Hmm.
ball. So I mean, you can't go wrong with moon pie.
I've
So
been to Moon Pie RC Cola Festival before in Bell Buckle, Tennessee.
there you go.
So
Yeah.
if you're looking for something to do, go to Bell
Hey.
Buckle, Tennessee
Yeah.
for the Moon Pie and RC Cola Festival.
Hey, Ken. Did you hear that? That'd be a great episode of Faces to Places. Ken, who does the North Pole, he does another podcast called Faces to Places, where it's all Americana and
Yeah,
stuff, and he lives in Tennessee, and so maybe he can make it if he's not too
and
far.
they have a store that sells like every flavor of moon pie there is.
Yeah,
So really cool stuff.
yeah. I'd have to check that. Trivia question writing. That's why. Yeah. Well, I know Ricky Anderson also has the most leadoff home runs. And does he still have the most stolen bases? in Major League Baseball? I know he did for a while. I don't know if he still does, but I know he has the most leadoff home runs as a baseball player. So
Hmm.
yeah. So they're July 19th birthday. I'm the 12th. So yeah, Arnie and Ben are twins. So
Hmm.
yeah. And Santa Dad, sweet spot for the girls. 7 and 5. Yes. Yeah.
That was an amazing time. Yeah,
It is.
definitely enjoy every moment.
Yeah. 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 So Bob Newhart, Bob Newhart love here. So yeah. Well, guys, Roy, thanks for taking time out on this Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It does not go past me that it is busy time, and you already had one commitment, and you were kind enough to try to get this one in as well. So thank you so much for being here with me.
I was just honored you invited me. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. I do appreciate it. And I've had a great time. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of
that's all
fun.
it's all about.
Well, you
You
know how it is. When you come to the house, when you come to Christmas Clatter, first time you're a guest, and next time your family. So you don't have to ring the doorbell next time. Just come on in. You know. So
all right.
and and so, but have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope everything goes well for you guys, and have a good weekend. And Black Friday was something I was going to talk about earlier, and I completely forgot. But that's okay. I'm not that. It was more complaining, and we just didn't need a lot of complaining.
What, the commercialization of Christmas? What? That's a
No, it
thing?
was no. That's not what I was complaining about. I was complaining that there's not
Okay.
enough. There's not enough good sales. you know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a lot of deals.
Yeah.
I was doing the Black Friday specials for the show before this one,
Uh huh.
and there just wasn't a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
So kind
Well,
of sad.
I live in a small community. You the little town I live in is 4,500 people. The next biggest city where everything happens is just shy of 40,000. And we got a small little local newspaper, and like Walmart and Target and Academy Sports had decided not to run ads in the paper for Black Friday at all. Um, it's like, well, there was like nothing, nothing in there to look at. It's like, well, I'm supposed to do get it online, which is fine, but it's just not the same as having a paper to flip through. I want a paper to flip
Yeah.
through. I'm becoming a crotchety old man, you know. And I remember when Black Friday was about strategy and getting up early and standing in line, and then it got to be about just staying up late because because the store's open. Well, now the store's taking that they've kind of pared that back some, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these guys that need to be closed Christmas, Thanksgiving. It's like, well, there's people that work every Thanksgiving, but it's
Yeah.
just like there's just not there's no incentive to be out there, and we don't go out there to get the big things. We just
Excuse
like to
me.
be out in the atmosphere. We just like to be in the crowd and the
I like
hustle and
seeing
the
crazy people in their
yeah,
element.
yeah, yeah,
I've only ventured to a true Black Friday sale once, and it was for a trampoline
yeah.
that was going to be on sale. It's like the kids wanted a trampoline that year. That was the only time I did that. And then there was an appliance store was having a sale, and they gave away an ice maker if you were calling number 10. And I'm like, oh, I've got a fridge. Did that ice maker will fit? So I called, and I was calling number 10. So I
Oh,
went to the appliance store. They said, "Don't you need a fridge?" No, I've already got a fridge. That just it'll fit my fridge. So I went home and installed the ice maker. So we had an ice maker. So I was like, yeah. So,
oh,
but before Black Friday, I remember the 600 or 700 page Sears catalog
uh huh.
that would
Yes,
arrive, and going through and circling all the toys
yes,
that I was hoping Santa would bring me. He never brought me the go-kart. I'm upset about that,
yeah,
but
yeah. I remember that too. It was for us locally. We did have a Sears, but the J.C. Penney catalog was the bigger deal locally,
yes.
and it was just as full of stuff too. And but yeah, I remember that. It's just like I just kind of miss that having that tangible stuff because it's like when you just like on your tablet, it's
Yeah.
it just it's just not the
Yeah.
same. I want to flip through the paper, but It's
So,
just like, in fact, I think my dad has kept a bunch of them old JCPenney catalogs somewhere, and I need to
wow.
see if I can dig them out. I mean, the guy hasn't thrown away anything in 73 years, so I don't, so.
All right. Well, you
Well,
have an amazing Thanksgiving, and
yeah,
thank
you
you
too,
again for
man.
letting me be on your show.
Yes, it's getting late there. I will let you go. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat.
I've got to cook some stuff
All
before I go to bed tonight. So,
all right, we'll let you go, guys. Thank you in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank
bye.
you. Have a happy Thanksgiving.